What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another video. As you can see, I have this amazing spreadsheet called BRADS Breakdown on there. That's what I'm naming this little thing that I have been doing for years now with team tournaments, and I think it's really, really good practice, especially if you are new at pairings. This allows you to help do some quick overviews and knowing what your game plan is going into pairings. There's very complicated and complex matrices that happen outside of this, and we will get into that in other videos and kind of how to set them up and where you can get access and stuff like that to different ones. But this is something that I like to do so that I'm not thinking as much in the moment for the starting thing, and I have a good solid game plan going into it. So what we do here is we've got team one. We're going to be team one. We're going to pretend this is our pro tabletop team because it's just easier for me to think about it. Joe's Tau Retaliation, Thomas's Space Marines, Gladius, Collins Necron, Grey Knights. He usually runs 6 Dread Knights and Canis. Walter's crazy Necron builds. My sister's Bringer of Flames, most likely. Jaime is going to be on some CSM over here. We're going to do some half shooting, half combat, kind of an all-around, all-comers CSM list. That also creates a really good defender. Damien's Orcs. We generally will end up first defending with him in this scenario. And he's going to pick a dense table. So I really think this is a really cool strategy people can use. If you have combat armies and the opponent doesn't have stuff that can really go into them, you can first defend the combat armies, get a dense table, and it's actually really cool how it could work out. And then Johnny's going to be playing Eldar. So I just kind of put some meta stuff here. We're going to have like meta Mon-Ka Tau, meta Blood Angels, some meta Grey Knights, Death Guard, Bringer of Flames Sisters, some big demon matchup, Custodes, 3 Wardens, 3 Venatari, what we've been kind of seeing, some T-Suns. We'll say it's the double Vortex Beast Demon Prince combo that Magnus we've been seeing. So what I like to do is I like to basically say, okay, if they defend with this as a first defender, who do I want to attack into it? And usually I will do this without having a defender in mind on my side. And then this will lead me to say, okay, well, here's who our best defender is because they're not needed to attack. There's different game plans we can go into for attacking and defending on your first drop and who you should put down. But let's go through this so that everyone can kind of have an idea of how you would generate this yourself. So let's look at Tau. Okay, well, my immediate things into Tau are, I'm going to attack Eldar into it. I'm going to attack Eldar and I'm going to attack Sisters. So actually, the way Thomas is generally set up, we usually set him up to be able to deal with these things. So we're going to do Eldar and Marines. I want to keep Sisters on the table kind of as long as possible. So let's give us a really good starting point. They put Tau out there and they want to try to mitigate scores. I'm going to put them 2 things that have the potential of winning 15 to 18 point wins against that Tau and can just really kill all of their anti-tank. Even if it's Tiger Shark Tau, both of these will still be able to handle it pretty well. Eldar can kill one, they can move block it. Thomas's Marines are generally very adept to dealing with tank. At ATC this year, he's going a little bit more anti-combat, but generally when we put him on our full roster, we go anti-tank. So Blood Angels, there's a lot of options into Blood Angels. We could attack Orcs and do it. We could attack Grey Knights and do it. There's 2 clear things that come out to me for the way that our comp is right now. Grey Knights and Tau. They're both alpha strikey, beta strikey type lists. They're going to be able to get the first hit onto the Blood Angels. They can come onto the back of Ruins and stuff like that, so it's hard for the Blood Angels to stage, and they have very good profiles at killing Marines. Then we look at Grey Knights. Grey Knights can be tricky. If this is 5-6 Dread Knights with Terminators, we've kind of been seeing less Canis, less Land Raiders, and like 4 or 5 Dread Knights with 3 minimum Terminators. Could be something like that. So we have to say like, okay, well, who's going to go into that? Sisters is really good into this match. Really good in this match. We could then also do CSM, or we could do Space Marines again. Thomas usually ends up being a pretty good attacker. So if I spell Marines right up here. So we're gonna put him down for now. We'll see how it shakes out if we like that decision. Death Guard, 3 10-man, some PBCs, or maybe it's not 3 10-mans, maybe it's all the tanks, 3 Predators, 3 PBCs, some trash, 1 10-man, some min 5s, a little bit of a all-comers kind of, Death Guard list. Generally, Necrons is pretty good to put into this. Walter does very good into Death Guard, so we're going to put this here. His list has changed a lot, so it might not be as good as it used to be, but generally getting him into Death Guard is a pretty safe thing for him to have to deal with. Then the next thing, so we want to kind of avoid Tau going into there. Don't really want them to be -1 to hit. Thomas does really good into Death Guard as well. So we're just going to throw him out there. We're going to just put him out there. Thomas is usually a pretty good attacker for us, really all well-rounded. I want to leave a lot of the other things on the table if I can in this first round. And remember, this is just this first round. This is not all the pairings afterwards, the other 7 pairings. We're just looking at the first round pairings. So we have a game plan of what we want to attack into it, and then we'll adjust our matrice after that first round happens. But we really want to get a good match on this first drop for us. But we want to get a good match without putting our best match that is good into other things off the table. So we would use our matrice to kind of balance this, and we might decide oh well, we actually don't want Grey Knights here because we need Grey Knights to stay on the table, so we need to put something else here. So if we wanted to be safe here, we could just put this. Thomas is also just fine into Blood Angels. So as you can see, Thomas is very good at being a first attacker for us, and we're kind of filling with what do we want to kind of pinch against him that they might not want to pick. So into Sisters, I'm going to keep Thomas out of the Sisters ballpark in this because it could go good, it could go bad for him. I don't think it's the best. I want to kind of shut the Sisters down a little bit. So Tau is really good into this matchup. We've played it. It's very, very good. Eldar, generally very bad for Sisters. This version of Sisters, it can go either way. He could definitely keep it close. Orcs are very, very good into Sisters. I love Orcs into Sisters, but we're going to try to first defend Orcs here, so we're not going to attack Orcs into Sisters. I really like Tau into it, and then I think that CSM is the other thing that we would potentially want to put into that. I don't really want to put Eldar out, but I could. So when we look at this, Eldar doesn't really have too many good matchups here. They're really only good into Tau. So maybe if Sisters comes out, maybe we just put Eldar into it. You keep a good game there. So into Demons. This is an interesting one. This is definitely an interesting one. I think Sisters are actually pretty good into Demons right now. I think that being able to be hey, I'm in the 2 Miracle Dice thing. You fail a 4-up save, take 8 damage. Demons don't really want to deal with that. They don't really want to get super close to deal with all the Meltas. Vol's really good in this match. I feel very comfortable into Demons, so I feel pretty well off there. So we could put Necrons. I don't really want to waste Grey Knights here. I don't really want to waste Tau here. We can put Necrons into this. Necrons is kind of here or into T-Sons. We could also put Eldar here. It's not the worst matchup for Eldar. It does hurt Eldar a lot, but Eldar can go in scoring, and if they get close and they fail some saves, they could do a lot of damage. So I think what I'm going to do, though, is I think I'm going to put Necrons here, and I think that's a pretty solid plan. And I'm also going to put Necrons down here in T-Sons, and I'm going to put my other T-Sons. Well, let's fill this out. So I think Tau is pretty good into this. Grey Knights are also pretty good into this. Feels pretty good into the Custodes. We could just put Eldar into Custodes as well. But I like having the option of the fighting there. Grey Knights are really good into the Death Guard as well. I could just replace this. I think but I don't really want. Yeah, I think we just do that. Because what I would like to do is I would like Necrons to be able to stay on the table for this T-Sons match, kind of. So we could put Grey Knights here, we could put Tau there, and then into T-Sons we're going to do Eldar. So He's very confident into the T-Suns match. He thinks he can get like, 8s most of the time, which is just fine. I'll take that out of Eldar to shut down like a strong list and get something else. So this is basically what it would look like to have our first round. So if they put Tau out, let's review. We put Eldar and Space Marines into it. Feel really good about that pairing. They put Blood Angels out. We put Tau and Space Marines into it. It kind of sucks losing Tau early, but losing Tau to the Blood Angels is okay because they should do very well in that. The Grey Knights, Sisters, and Space Marines feel very, very good about that as well. So like Grey Knights shouldn't be coming out. That's kind of a trap for them. Death Guard, Grey Knights prey on Death Guard. So losing Grey Knights early to get a big win there is totally okay. Losing Thomas into Grey Knights, it would be nice to keep, or into Death Guard, it would be nice to keep Thomas on the table for some of those other matches if Death Guard goes out. So I don't actually know that I want Thomas to go into there. I feel a little bit better if we put Necrons into there because I really want Thomas to end up into one of these other matches. Sisters, Tau, and Eldar. Tau is just going to do good there. They're going to mitigate the score. If things go good in the Tau's favor, Tau could do very well. It's a game. It's a hard game. It's a very, very killy game. Eldar, in the same vein, Eldar has a lot of move blocking potential though, which like the Sisters really don't want to deal with, and they have longer range guns than the Sisters. So if the Sisters tanks come out, the Eldar are adept to be able to kill them. The Eldar should be able to score 6 to 8 points there pretty handedly. So it's not going to be like a blowout. Sisters are very good. Tau should be able to tick that up to like a 12-point win into Tau's favor. That would be kind of the hope there. And then Demons, it's just Sisters, every failed save, you're just going to take a lot of damage. So they could put a lot of damage in there. There is a lot of tanks, so they have to chew through and stuff like that. Vol does very well in that matchup. There is enough trash to play the mission. Maybe not the greatest match. Demons are very good right now, but Sisters are usually pretty good into it. You should be able to eke out 12 points with the Sisters there. And if things just go good and the Demons fail their saves, the Sisters might get a bigger win, like a 15. The Necrons into Demons, it's just fine. He's got a lot of individual characters, a lot of targets and stuff for the Demons to have to deal with, so they don't just go into one thing and like really swing up. They have to deal with a lot of small units. Custodes, the Tau can just kind of kite them all game. They can just jump in, they can kite them, they've got enough shooting, they've got movement shenanigans to shoot them and run away. And then the Grey Knights are in a similar vein where it's like, hey, you could just kind of stay there and shoot you and jump around, jump up and down, force you to have to run backwards to have to kill me. Just very annoying for Custodes when they don't have a lot of units to have to go run backwards in places they don't want to go. And Grey Knights and Tau both having 3-inch deep strikes, it's not good for them. Like they could just drop in, they could kill their sister screens, they could control their home objective, force a big custody unit to have to go on the back objective. Not an ideal situation. And then T-Suns, we've got Eldar and Necrons into here. Eldar plays the game just fine. Like scoring 8 points is great. Necrons, he usually does very, very well into T-Suns. So putting him in there to kind of blunt the T-Suns score is a really good thing we like to do. So I don't have CSM and I don't have Orcs attacking at all in this. And that's because I really want them to be my defenders. I really want Orcs to first defend and pick a closed table, and I want CSM to second defend and pick an open table. CSM plays pretty well into like most of these things, so I don't really fear what they would get matched up into. And then Orcs, if they're going to pick a closed table, Tau can't attack into them. Death Guard can't really attack into them. Sisters can't really attack into them. T-Suns doesn't really want too much to do with that. So then you come down and you're like, okay, they're going to put Custodes, Demons, or Blood Angels. Like they probably put Blood Angels and Demons, which is just fine. The Orcs can take either of those off the table. They can score their points and do really well. So they're going to just kind of take one of these other matches. If they took Demons off the table, it'd be great for us because it's kind of a sketchy match for us right now in this pairing. So it'd be good if they put Demons into there. And if they put Custodes in there, then it's just like, hey, it's combat versus combat. Yeah, Custodes kill you. You don't kill them as good. They're just going to score points, and it's just going to be a drawish game, which is perfectly fine. So yeah, that is how you kind of walk through it all and do a BRADS breakdown to get your first pairing. So hopefully this helps anybody that is going to be playing at NATC this weekend. definitely highly recommend walking through this. It'll help you just visualize and open up any holes that you might see and get an initial game plan without even having a full matrix. Not everybody does a full matrix. This is an easy way to at least get your brain started on a matrix. So hopefully you like it. Like, comment, and subscribe, and do all those fun things. And we'll see you on the next one.